Sharing passwords may seem harmless, but it can quietly open the door to a breach. It turns out most security incidents don't come from brute force attacks or lucky guesses. They occur when access spreads too far, too quickly, through unclear permissions, casual sharing, or tools not designed for teams. That raises a question. What would password management look like if it were designed from the ground up for secure collaboration? Among several mainstream options, such as Bitwarden and KeePass, Passbolt stands out as one that deserves a closer look, especially for its emphasis on secure collaboration. This open-source password manager has been around for over a decade and has evolved through its collaborative, secure approach. But does it actually solve the problems it claims to, especially with its newly released version 5? In this video, we'll explore how Passbolt handles team-based security and whether its approach offers anything different from the usual tools. All right, let's get into it. Most password managers aim to address the issues with traditional password sharing, but what are these problems exactly? These are the pain points that users encounter during collaborative workflows. For example, you might find yourself copying passwords into chat apps, pasting them into emails, or sharing them verbally, none of which are secure or trackable. Even some password managers don't offer clear access limits or detailed logs, so once someone has access, it's difficult to know what they did or who else may have gained access. According to an article on techradar.com, Darren Guccione, CEO at Keeper Security, stated that when credentials are shared insecurely, accountability is lost, audit trails disappear, and organizations are left vulnerable to both accidental and malicious misuse. Passbolt addresses this issue differently, which highlights its core strengths. One of its key strengths is its secure password sharing functionality. It implements a secure password sharing policy through a combination of encryption, granular sharing and permissions, and audit trails. Passwords are encrypted using users' PGP keys, which are randomly generated private keys that live on their devices, and a master password that encrypts the private key, ensuring that only authorized users can access them. Granular sharing and permissions provide precise control over who can access and modify passwords, including options to revoke access or update passwords. Additionally, Passbolt provides strong traceability and audit trails for all password sharing activities, enabling monitoring and accountability. It also takes an API-first approach, which lets you integrate its services into your existing workflow, using the tool set of your choice. So if you're a developer, you don't have to rely on the interface. You can plug it right into your tools, scripts, or CI/CD pipelines with GitLab. Whether you're automating password sharing, updating permissions, or tracking access, Passbolt integrates seamlessly into your workflow. Passbolt 4.1 was a success, introducing major capabilities including role-based access and granular user control. An improved workspace grid was introduced with version 4.2, and version 4.5 added password expiry policies for Pro and CE users. Meanwhile, encrypted metadata was a beta support in the administration settings, allowing early testing of the version 5.0 resource format migration while still on version 4.11. And now that version 5 has been released, it offers significant improvements over the already impressive version 4. So what are these improvements? Let's take a look. Passbolt 5.0 was released in April 2025, accompanied by a rollout of upgrades and improvements. First, it requires servers running on PHP 8.2 or higher for long-term maintainability, stronger security, and enhanced performance. If your server isn't running on the required PHP version, you might need to update your PHP environment before migrating to Passbolt 5.0. One notable improvement is the UI, which provides a more intuitive layout with default icons to distinguish between different types of resources, such as passwords, time-based one-time password, TOTP, and more. Additionally, a subtle change in the filter view allows you to zero in on the resources you need most, such as starred, shared with me, items I own, private, and expiring. Another notable change in the UI is the introduction of unified and modular dialogues for creating or editing resources and items. Whether you're adding a password or secret, a TOTP entry, or a folder, the interface remains the same, laying the foundation for consistently adding sensitive data types in upcoming releases. However, one of the most important upgrades in Passbolt version 5 is something you don't actually see, but it plays a huge role in the security of your data. It's called encrypted metadata. In previous versions, items such as passwords and TOTP codes were already encrypted. However, other details, like the name of a resource or its URL, were left in plain text. That might not sound like a big deal at first, but metadata can reveal more than you'd expect, especially in team or enterprise environments. With version 5, Passbolt now encrypts this as well, closing a gap and making the entire system more privacy-focused from the ground up. Because this new feature plays such an important role in Passbolt's security model, the team didn't just roll it out casually. Passbolt has been working with Cure53, a respected security firm, for several years, running regular audits since early 2021. The encrypted metadata feature underwent the same rigorous process. However, since its dedicated audit was scheduled for late April 2025, it wasn't part of the initial version 5.0 release. Instead, it was finalized and included in version 5.1, which rolled out in mid-May 2025. Then came version 5.2, along with a few more features that further enhanced usability. One of the more practical additions is support for custom fields, essentially key value pairs that can be attached to a credential. These can be confidential or just metadata, providing teams with more flexibility to structure their stored information as needed. It's great for things like environment tags, API tokens, or internal IDs. Another helpful improvement was the ability to link multiple URLs to a single credential, which is perfect for those situations where the same login works across different domains or subdomains. And finally, they added a small but popular feature: custom icons. You can now customize the appearance of your entries by assigning different icons and background colors, making it easier to identify the credentials you use most frequently. Altogether, these updates demonstrate that Passbolt isn't just focused on enhanced security, it's also addressing the practical needs of teams that rely on shared credentials daily. What are your thoughts on Passbolt version 5? Is it a hit or miss? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Passbolt seems like a perfect password sharing solution, but it is not without caveats. Let's take a quick look at where it shines and where it falls short. Firstly, we want to look at its backend. Passbolt is built with security and privacy by design from the ground up as a fully open-source, encrypted password manager, and is available in two packages: self-hosted and cloud-managed. The latter allows Passbolt to host your passwords and data on its EU servers, specifically on the Google Cloud Platform, located in data centers in Belgium and Germany. According to Passbolt, the reason for the choice of the server type being Google Cloud is motivated by the level of security compliance, such as ISO 27001, SOC 2, and more, as well as to reduce environmental impact through low CO2 operations, which is made possible by Google Cloud's renewable energy purchase, matching at a below 75% carbon-free energy sourcing. This simply means that Passbolt runs its cloud services on infrastructure that's not only secure but also powered mostly by clean energy, helping lower its carbon footprint. The self-hosted edition, on the other hand, provides full data ownership, enabling you to host and manage your passwords on your server. Additionally, for this edition, Passbolt provides official installation scripts for Debian, Ubuntu, Red Hat, OpenSUSE, and many other operating systems. Other than that, you can run the Passbolt Pro official Docker container or a virtual machine on the operating system of your choice, as long as it's not Windows. Docker or VirtualBox supports it. While this may seem too technical for users seeking a plug-and-play experience, it offers greater flexibility and user control over your data at the back end than the cloud hosting edition. However, the secure password sharing functionality is a prominent feature on Passbolt. For instance, you can share credentials with your team granularly, specifying the exact actions each member can perform with a given resource based on their allotted roles, enabling them to scale operations confidently. Honestly, this feature is very intuitive and seamless compared to the mainstream competitor Bitwarden, which only allows you to edit access or assign roles to team members in your collection, which contains your credentials. This action can only be executed in the admin console, which is a hassle for users who want a quick action execution, making organizing and managing access a bit clunky. That said, Passbolt is also available for web, desktop, and mobile, though the desktop and mobile installations require a workaround. For example, the mobile app requires you to scan a QR code to transfer your account key, while the desktop app requires you to download your account key and upload it during installation. This is because you'll need to move your encrypted private key so your device can handle all encryption and decryption locally. The servers never see your actual passwords or even the code that does the cryptography. It all happens on your end. However, this might not seem like much for some, but casual users might find it a bit of a hassle. Another area where Passbolt excels is its Community Edition, which offers a robust, completely free self-hosted experience, unlike Bitwarden, which provides free self-hosting for core functions. Still, some features require a license, which can be obtained through a paid subscription or an organization license. Here's a quick tabular comparison of their respective free self-hosting services. However, Passbolt's UX can feel a bit technical for casual users, especially in the self-hosted edition, since setup involves steps such as configuring SMTP or managing encryption keys. In contrast, Bitwarden offers a more straightforward interface that's easier to navigate from the start. Additionally, Passbolt is designed for teams and organizational workflows, making it less ideal for solo users. That said, Passbolt is a great option if you value team-based, secure password sharing. But is it affordable or cost-effective? Let's find out. And if you find this video helpful, please leave a like and support the channel by hitting the subscribe button. It really means a lot. Thank you as you do so. Starting with the self-hosted edition, the business plan is priced at $49 per month or $4.90 per user per month, with a minimum of 10 users, but is scalable at a cost for up to 4,000 users. The business plan for the cloud-managed edition is priced at $54 per month or $5.40 per user per month, and also requires the same minimum user count. Both editions include an enterprise plan that can be tailor-made to your requirements by simply contacting the sales team. Additionally, you can try Passbolt before paying. The self-hosted Pro edition comes with a 14-day free trial. In contrast, the Cloud Edition offers a 7-day trial, giving you enough time to test how each setup fits your workflow. However, Passbolt Cloud is the best way to test Passbolt in a few clicks. Now, the business plans might feel a bit pricey for some, but given the features offered in each plan, I consider them cost-effective and good value for your money. That said, here are my final thoughts on Passbolt. If you manage a team or organization and are looking for a secure resource-sharing workflow with complete user control and granular setup, without an initial financial commitment, Passbolt is a great option. But if you are a solo consumer who needs a secure password manager with self-hosting, with less technical hassle, I'd recommend Bitwarden. And if you'd like to see a roundup of the best password managers available today, watch this video. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.